Welcome to LBM Flash Moments with Phil Fernaro.
All right, hello everyone. This is Phil Fernaro, and this is LBM Flash Moment. And my last flash moment, I had the mirroring wrong. So light bulb moments. Oh, here is was wrong in relationship capital. See, I can't even do the model here, the mirroring, because I'm confused. Anyway, that's a weird way to start. But the idea is that in the last episode, I talked about how my guests are seeing light bulb moments in reverse here because now that we're doing YouTube, and absolutely fabulous. I think we have like 40, 30, 40, 50. I don't know. It's growing rapidly. So we're using all these episodes, popping them on YouTube. So now we don't have only Spotify and Apple and Listen Notes and iHeartRadio, et cetera. And of course, our website, lbmpodcast.com. We also have YouTube. That'll be in the show notes so you can check it out. So you can see some of our guests and myself talking a little bit and get a little bit more perspective. Obviously, continue to listen. That's fine too. But I think the video sometimes tells a different story as it relates to this. So anyway, we're going to talk today about how my mindset shifted in the last month or so as it relates to the fact that I'm always trying to give and try to connect and interact. But it came to the point where I needed some help, and I don't like to ask too much for help because I think I'm okay. I'm very fortunate. I interact, and not that I don't need help. I just like to give more than I receive, and it's interesting that it's important to try to sometimes shift that mindset. And I was resistant to it. And my peer coach Phil Fulton, episode 2, told me all the time. He says, when I needed something, he goes, well, go ask your network, go ask your connections, see what they have to say. I go, well, I don't want to bother now. That's we'll figure it out as we went along. But as usual, Phil Fulton was correct, and the idea is that I have to listen a little bit more to here as it relates to that. So we're going to talk about how I went through that and the transformation and so forth. But first, an enjoyable story. My wife the other day, it was getting hot in the house, and we were heading for bed, and I said, hey, should we open up the windows, or should we turn on the air conditioner? Because it was sort of in that weird area, and she angrily, and she's not always angry. She said both. She's not always angry. She's very happy, but she said both. I want both, and I go, hey, this is a little bit of a situation when you're dealing with heat and cold. It's very important to get it right, I guess. So we had the air conditioning and the windows open. I think at some point we closed the windows, but very interesting dynamic. And then when I challenged her on it and told her I was going to tell that she gives me great information and great material for light bulb moments, she says, well, hey, I'm an expert on temperature control, so she's not going to like this, but thought it was pretty funny, part of our relationship. Anyway, a little odd way to start, but here we go. So I am growing relationship capital. As everyone knows, we're trying to grow light bulb moments. We're trying to grow bright and our bright community here. And I thought it was important. I had been to a presentation and learned a little bit about board seats. Now, I've never had a board on any of my businesses. I've never had a board on anything. And I've been dealing with boards. Sometimes there's advisory boards, sometimes there's large boards, for publicly traded companies, et cetera. But I never try to apply it to myself. So what I did is I talked to the people that create. It's called PDA is the name of the non-for-profit organization. And what they did is they told me that fill out an application, which I did, and said what we're looking for the growth of relationship capital, the enterprise underneath what you're hearing today and what is coming in the future. And basically, my whole existence is based on relationship capital. There's a great episode on relationship capital. I think it's on both websites, my Fernaro Law website and the Light Bulb Moments website, but it's also in YouTube. It's also, on our episodes, somewhere in the 200s, I think. Maybe 195, I can't remember. But the idea is that I was told to call these people. I did. I gave it my all. I made an application that I submitted. And then almost immediately, we got resumes that came back in. And what it was very important, and we haven't got to the point of the episode yet here today, but it was really important is that people liked what I had to say. And it wasn't that they were just needing board seats, although board people, people looking for board seats want board seats. However, it was the interaction and what I learned. I didn't know anything about this. There's transformational board members, there's governance board members, there's operational, there's systems based. I mean, it goes on and on. There's strategy based. So I didn't know what I needed. So I started talking to a lot of people that I know and said, hey, what stage, including ChatGPT, what stage am I at here, and what do I need at this very present moment to help grow all the things that are in my head? And slowly but surely, it became quite apparent after interviewing people in each of these different areas that I just mentioned in terms of their specialty. It was that I need someone to build the system underneath what we're doing here. Because all this content, and we have a great system with Turnkey Podcast and Doug Sandler and his team, and we've got great people supporting us. But the idea is that as we scale these companies, because I've been involved in many company growth patterns, both as an attorney and as a person inside those organizations. However, I don't think I've ever gone this way or I've ever seen this way. And these people are superstars. Almost every resume, it's like I read it. Their cover letters are awesome. When we interview them, it's awesome. But I now found that I need to focus in and rely on my network to tell me what I need. And it's funny is now I'm instead at meetings at this last consortium that we had in Boston. I was actually, instead of adding super value, I did add some value. I would go and ask and say, "Hey, what do you think?" And then at the end of almost every one, I go, "I apologize, I talked way too much this time." And it's not because of anything, but I'm just trying something new. I'm trying to see what other people think and try to stress test. We have an episode on stress testing, but the idea is that I wanted to stress test, what I'm doing here. So the other thing, so that worked out okay. I think I'm gonna, by the time you're hearing this, we probably have a board person on, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. We might have two or three as a part of an advisory board as we grow our team here, at Lightbulb Moments. Anyway, the other part is that I decided that we needed to increase our exposure to the world as it relates to Fernaro Law and our outside general counsel model, our OGC model. And the idea is that I would do the normal stuff with interviewers, try to call recruiters, try to post on social media, all this stuff. But I was posting the wrong way. And I didn't post for what we're all about. So just saying I need a commercial real estate attorney or a corporate attorney or a transportation attorney, we need all those things. However, we also need an OGC attorney, someone that is going to be in the game and do all the things and project it that way. So this time when we did our job posting, we sort of stayed away from specific practice areas and focused more on the OGC model, the health assessment, all the things that we're growing and that we're going to digitize soon as we grow with AI and all the other things and sort of try to transform law. I said, I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to try. So I send out emails to all my friends, all my contacts, all my relationships, and say, hey, not all at once, not annoyingly. I said, hey, if you see somebody that fits this job description or this job posting, put them in touch with me. As a result of all this, they reacted. They want to help. And that's what's so beautiful about this. I've never asked. And when I did ask, they said, yes, Phil, we want to help you. Here's some ideas. And what is so glorious about it is because we projected it in this way, you see all of these people that we're interviewing now are different than what we did before. They fit our model. And, I'm foolish, right? I know what our model is. I just didn't believe that the people out there would respond to that because I didn't understand how legal people think. And so I've been spending all my time, we had a great episode with Susan Guthrie. I've been on her podcast. She's been on ours. But the idea was she sort of gave me that hope when I talked to her because she thought about things in a different way. And a great episode, by the way. She is a great attorney and a great innovator. You're going to love that one. But the idea is that when I was connected with her, I go, there are other people like this. And then when we interview some of these lawyers that are entrepreneurs on the podcast, that gave me confidence. So my point is that I didn't just overnight say, okay, I'm going to go out and do this. It took me a long time to get there, but it took my connection. It took my bright community to help me. And it's really important because that's a very, very big shift for me. I don't, and we talk about the 5 shifts. Check our podcast website, lbmpodcast.com. It talks about the 5 shifts that you can experience to get a light bulb moment or after a light bulb moment. The idea is now I had this whole shift, this perspective shift is like, I need to enter my network for my own well-being. And it's important. And I thought myself for so long that I was being a taker if I did that. But it's not that. The people want to reciprocate. They want to give. They want to help. They want to help grow what we're building here. So it's such an important part of the build here that I think I'm going to do it more often. I'm not going to be annoying about it. However, every time I need something that is within people's wheelhouse, we've built something special here, Bright Community. I don't think you understand how different this is from all the other platforms that exist in the world in the social media side. We are full of people that want to help no matter what. And that's why I think people are listening. That's why people are connecting outside of my knowledge. That's why people are asking me to connect each other to one another. It's all because of what we've built at this high level. And I hope you're feeling it. And if I can do it, if I can go out and ask for help, so can you. And take this seriously because I think that some people are still hesitant. And if you're hesitant, guess what? You're never going to get to the point of being a little bit vulnerable to ask other people to help, and it's going to it's going to hold you back a little bit in terms of your growth as a person, business person, etc. Anyway, I want to keep it there because it was a very interesting one. I don't want to overdo it, and I want to keep some of these short so people can pop in and out, on a quick fashion. But I really enjoyed giving this short episode on how you guys are helping me, and I appreciate it. This process couldn't have been done without you and without giving me satisfaction and inspiration that this is helping you and it allowed to help me as well. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for that. Tomorrow, Ryan Schneider, Thrive 25. It's a mind and health discussion. We're going to talk a little bit about concentration on longevity and pay attention, everyone. You shouldn't be turning off episodes that relate to longevity because you want to get there, especially as you age or you're thinking about aging. Especially, we had a couple episodes on the sandwich generation. We'll put those in the show notes. But the idea here is that it's affecting us all. But guess what, guys? I want to be on the planet a lot longer, so I have to worry about my longevity. So, Ryan will talk about that. We'll talk about always being in position to pivot, never just standing in one place. If the opportunity arises, go grab it. This will be important for everybody that works. Health in the workplace is so critical, and it's not just about workplace, but those are some tips that we can talk about. We've had a couple other ones that talked about that. Steph Shadroff was one that came to mind immediately. Here's a good one for the Gen Xers. Accelerate in your 50s and 60s. Most importantly, we'll talk about his personal longevity advisor platform. So it's a unique way to sort of manage your health and control your health. And I think you're going to find this very, very beneficial to you, whoever you are and whoever is listening to this episode today. So we'll see everyone tomorrow for another positive day of illuminating thoughts and light bulb moments. Stay bright, everyone.